English.
Sorry. Is there a clicker?
Each team has 20 minutes to present the case in front of the jury. Presentation will be timed with a chronometer. Time will be indicated at the following segments to remind the participants of the remaining time to complete the presentation. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes. In the last 10 seconds, remaining records will be announced with both hands. If presentation isn't completed after 20 minutes, presentation will be automatically stopped with a verbal announcement in order to move to the question period. A period of 5 minutes is allocated to the jury to ask questions concerning the presentation. After 5 minutes, a verbal announcement will stop the question period, even if the question or the answer isn't completed. It is mandatory that at least one question is asked by the jury to complete the question period. Note that if a participant reveals the name or the source of the university will lead to a penalty. In order to start the presentation, please turn off any electric device that could be disturbing during the presentation. I will now let the jury present themselves.
Good morning, my name is Louise Coutinho, I'm president of the agency Network Communication.
Hello, Marlene Dorero. I'm a marketing and communications coordinator at AVNR.
Marie-Pascale Gradel, I'm a marketing coordinator at AVNR.
Geneviève Leroy, I'm a media strategist at Starcom Worldwide.
So good day, executives of AV&R. My name is Dan.
I'm Kayla.
And I'm Bobby.
And we're at Tech Consulting. So before we start today's presentation, I wanted to ask you a question. Where does innovation begin? So you might say innovation begins in a classroom, such as this one, but it also begins at inspiring conferences and in collaborative projects around the world. An example for that could be the CERN nuclear accelerator in Switzerland, where teams from all around the world and different universities are collaborating together to making our world better. So we wanted to for you to keep that in mind when we're going to go through our presentation. So to quickly go over our agenda, we're going to say our mandate, we're going to go over our objectives, our analyses, which are going to include the SWOT, the Stakeholder Analysis, and 5 Ps. We're going to show you our solution, and then we're going to do our implementation, the financial breakdown, the key performance indicator, and finally our conclusion. I'm going to pass it to Kayla to continue from here.
So our mandate was to develop an awareness campaign with our current and potential clients as part of the 25th anniversary of AV&R. So we took that beyond with the objective of the marketing to be reacting to our targets to strengthen the credibility of AVR as an expert in robotic finishings on gas turbine. And we broke that down into 3 more objectives, which represents tech, train, educate, and consult. So we want to train the up-and-coming engineers, we want to educate the clients on the benefits of the technology, and we also want to consult by collaborating to create future projects in aerospace engineering. So to begin, we did our analysis and we started with a SWOT. So we noticed that you guys are a leader in aerospace. There is a complex robotics machine expert, so you're very aware of what's going on in the aerospace. There's an innovation, you have a strong international representation, you're doing R&D, so there's lots of strengths there, but there was some weaknesses in the marketing with the PR not used very often, low participations in the competitions as you were having a presence and you are looking into future. Some of the threats was the advanced technical product in a niche market. So it is very advanced and people might be a little skeptical of this technology as especially with people that value team morale. So companies might be a little skeptical to replacing their products with robots. And thirdly, looking at the opportunities of using the expertise to educate the future clients as well as the future engineers that could be coming to your company potentially, as well as leveraging the international representation to create a better sense of community, and as mentioned, using the education for students. So to summarize that with the key takeaways, so you're a leader in aerospace technology. Weakness is a low client-consumer collaboration due to the lack of PR and competitions. Threats is the skepticalism of the robots in the workplace, and opportunities is using the expertise to educate clients and next generation engineers. I'll pass it on to Bobby to talk about the piece of marketing.
So, to further understand your business, your product, and how we intend to sell this towards your clients, we have to look at the basics, and that's what the marketing piece can provide us. When we're looking at product, what we're looking at is the robotic finishing machines that do profiling, sanding, and deburring. And we also know of the automated visual inspections of engine parts, which helps our clients to further improve their engineering tactics. We're looking at the place. We have an international presence with a primary office located in Montreal, so that is where the focus is going to be placed. And we're looking at our promotion. You're looking at using blogs, newsletters, and brochures, and we know that that's been working effectively for you, but we also know that, as previously mentioned, you occasionally use that PR presence, which we find that we could utilize to provide more benefit through our solution later. Then when we're looking at our people, we have 80 employees all across the world, and we know that these employees are passionate, confident in their working ability, and they're client-oriented, which means that these people are going to be the people who are going to take the key actions in making sure that our solution can be implemented with less risk. When we're looking at our processes, we know they're looking at manufacturing and testing for engineering parts, but we also know that you're constantly investing in R&D, and that yields a high level of innovation and repeatability. That not only provides you with the benefit of having that unique and safe security, but also provides your clients with the trust in your business and working with you guys further in the future. So what we could take away from here is that we have an international presence. That's what we're going to be reflecting upon. How we plan to promote it is how we're going to utilize our low PR presence, and the people around it are how we're going to execute it and how we're going to address our clients in various demographic regions.
So to continue from here, we did a quick stakeholder analysis. We wanted to look at the players that we're dealing with. So looking at engine manufacturing, aerospace, engine manufacturing, plant workers, and students, we're looking at their placement. So for engine manufacturers, they're across 3 different continents. That's the focus of your business, but they're also located in individual plants. So it's not a country as a global, but those specific plants. For plant workers, they're same thing, employed across the world. We have students who are located across the globe. I'm going to explain why we're using students in the next slide. We're going to continue with their main concerns. So for the factories, for the individual factories, it's the cost of the machinery, of acquiring new technology, employee qualification to train new employees for the new equipment, safety and competitive edge over their competitors. For the plant workers, we're looking at job security, reflecting on that fear of machinery replacing those workers. Their safety in the workplace is also of utmost importance to plant workers. And for students, it's future employability and acquisition of practical skills and experience. They want to know what's out there when they're going to be graduating. In terms of the benefits of using AV&R products, we're looking for the engine manufacturers a competitive advantage. We're looking at increased efficiency in their manufacturing plants. For plant workers, it's new job prospects, so not necessarily a fear of being replaced, but it being created a new job place. Increased qualification and higher workplace safety is at most of your concern. And also for students, it's exposure to innovative technology. As I mentioned, they want to have practical skills when they graduate and they go out there, and potential internships and employment. So when we were looking at the stakeholder analysis, we wanted to focus on the job prospects and increased qualification, higher workplace safety for the workers. We're going to take that and continue with our solution and the exposure for students for innovative technology. And before we do the solution, we took a look at your core values, and we distributed it in between students and your clients. We wanted to reflect whatever we choose to do for the future to reflect your core values, what your company stands for. So we're looking at humans, creativity, innovations that we can implement on our strategy with students, and with clients, it's trust, passion of your workers, and the customer orientation. So we took that all together, and what we came up with is Vision 2025.
So for our solution breakdown, it's going to be a launch event which will take place on November 4th, which is your anniversary date of your company. And it'll also have a competition component, which is going to be an annual event with students. So looking at the launch event, we do want to host it in Montreal, Quebec. It's going to be a large conference based on STEM research, and it will be an international conference. So we want people to come from all across the world, and we want to get schools and universities around the world involved as well. So it'll be a speaker series and a gala. We want to host it over 3 days, so people will come in on the Friday night, have a little opening ceremonies, speakers take place, and we'll explain more in the implementation. And then we will have student fees and client fees, so we can kind of up our budget, as well as the competition, which will take an annual approach. So this will the launch event, and then competition same date following years. So the competition, schools can contribute to, or can decide to contribute. Clients will contribute their expertise and knowledge, so your clients can come to you with their problems that they're having with their company and have like a little bit of a middleman there. And position to contribute to aerospace technology, so we do want that to be the main focus. Clients can enter their own, as mentioned, and they'll have 1 year to complete it. So the schools will get it just after the end of the event that you host on the 4th, and then they'll have a year to complete it, and then the following year's event will be more of showcasing the top projects that were completed by the schools, and a thank you to all of the sponsors and clients that you have as well.
So, an annual conference with a year-long competition that we're hoping to have year-round, you must be asking how. And this is where the implementation will solve those very questions. In the short run, we're looking between now and within 4 months, and they'll handle a lot of logistical operations and organization. So that include organizing a team internally to plan out the logistical structure, how we want the days to go, what's going to be within the days, when do we have speakers, and when do clients get to engage with the students. Then we're looking at building marketing content for the event, but we're going to start off as a mystery content. You know, when you get marketing content that's like an event coming soon. You don't know what it is, but you are willing to pay more attention to it in the future days. Then we're looking at creating our sponsorship packages so that we can get other organizations and other a few of our clients as well to help sponsor our event. That not only helps us financially, but also they play a working part in the logistics of the event. And then we're looking at starting research on location that we can host the event at and contacting them as well. We know that there are plenty of venues in Montreal that can fit this, but we want the ideal place, and especially one that can project the values of engineering and technology. When we're looking for interested speakers for the event, we know that there are a lot of micro speakers, micro influencers that are speakers for technology that we can find in metropolitan communities such as Toronto or Montreal, and we can contact them. When we're looking at creating delegate packages directed towards schools, we're making sure that our plans in various countries are creating those delegation packages that are relevant to our consumers, because we know that consumers from different locations have different experiences. So that's what we're trying to bring. Then we're looking for catering and hotel services. That is something that we can do alongside our venue selection.
As for the midterm implementation, this is when we're going to start actually releasing the event to the public, so the clients and the students, kind of getting them familiar with where the location's going to be. We're going to have the hotels already set out, the catering already confirmed, as well as we'll be sending out those invitations. So we do have an example on the next slide, and we'll begin contacting schools to reach students. So we want to make a connection with the student bodies at the individual schools so they can actually directly advertise the event to the students, as it's a more direct way of doing that. And then we'll finalize the logistics and content for the event, so making sure we just have the speakers ready and the networking activities and the whole agenda set out for the 3-day event. And next is so this is an example of what we would want to send out to the prospective clients and attendees. Just a little more detailed would be the actual steps to attend the event, but that is something you'd want to send out through email or in your sponsorship packages.
So continuing to the long-term implementation, we're looking to establish an easy communication platform with the event attendees and with our sponsors. So I wanted to emphasize really this point. Our key vehicle for the future is your clients. They're going to be the people who are going to follow up with the projects throughout the year. We want to utilize their knowledge and their expertise in the different fields that they're working with to have that vehicle to continue for many years. So we want to establish some sort of a communication with them and the attendees, so it wouldn't be just a one-time event. We want to have an engagement throughout the year. We want to capture the highlight and the shared different platforms. We want the event to be filmed. We want to do a lot of the inspirational talks that are going to be happening on the event to be spread out on your website and other marketing platforms. So that's also a very important point. And we want to provide sponsors with the event metrics, building for the future events. We want to know the success of this event, send feedback surveys to the participants and for your clients as well. And we want to send competition packages to participating schools. So that's beginning the year-long process of the case of the competition that we're going to be engaging with schools. So we want to start that right away. After the event, follow up with clients on the student progress. Again, your clients as the vehicle to share their expertise with the students and follow throughout the year. And selecting student winners and begin planning the next year's event. I'm going to pass it on to Bobby to talk about cost allocation and revenues.
Yeah, so when we're looking at this plan, we know that there's going to be a huge budget, but we're only given $35,000, and that's what we have to work around. So we decided that by planning an event like this, we are acquiring new revenue streams. So we're looking at roughly $350 for student admissions, and that's very similar to going to conferences such as the Ted Rogers Conference or the CABS Conference. Any student conferences that build on professional development are roughly around this range. We're looking at $300 for early bird pricing for those eager beavers who want to get there sooner, and $325 if you're bringing your squad, your group of friends, and your people that you can work with. And we're looking at $500 for professionals and clients who want to come. And we're looking at an estimated 2,000 attendees coming to our event. And we're looking at roughly having 70% of them being the professionals, 30% of them being the students. So this approximately comes up to a new revenue stream of $910,000, which is the new budget that we can add to work on. Following this, we're looking at our cost allocation. So we know that the event budget is $35,000 and $910,000, right? So you get $945,000 dispersed amongst percentiles. So the top ones would probably be event space and catering, because those will take up a lot of money, and especially feeding a lot of people. There's going to be some towards operational costs. And for accommodations, but most importantly, we're looking at using the money towards paid advertising, and we're going to be using Google Ads and also using SEO as a way to make sure that we are addressing the clients that we want to and the students that we want to more precisely. And we also allocated 5% towards our contingency planning. Because this is the first time your company is holding an event like this, we want to ensure that there is financial stability and that it can last for years to come.
So looking at some of the key performance indicators that we hope to have out of this event is that we want to acquire 10 plus sponsorships for the case competition and event. So these will be your clients, as mentioned, and prospective clients that want to work with the students. So we feel 10 would be a good amount to have just participating in the event overall. We also want to acquire 2,000 plus attendees that will attend the event over the 3 days. So we might have some that can only attend the speaker series or the gala, but we want to maintain 2,000 for the entire 3 days. Thirdly, looking at the interest of 20 plus universities that want to participate in the actual case competition. These will be worldwide, mostly we're thinking in North America, as 76% of your manufacturing is done in America, but we also want to consider the other perspectives like Europe. And then also looking at an 80% response rate to the survey. So the survey is going to be really important to this event, as we do want it to be an annual event. So having the survey will really determine who would be returning to the event, what they liked about event, and kind of the changes you'll be able to make to the event as well. So we feel an 80% response rate would be reasonable to get a reasonable feedback from the attendees at the event. And I'll pass it over to Dan.
So to conclude what you saw in today's presentation, so we started with the from our mandate, with the need for an awareness campaign. Then we continued to Vision 2025. So just to reiterate, the 20 component is the year 2020 when the first project is going to be completed, and marking the 25th anniversary of your company, and also 2025 because we're building the future. We're looking forward with this project. We continue with the annual case competition and the follow-up with your clients and the progress of the students in the different universities. And finally, we're looking at an increased awareness of AV and R, both with your clients and students. And as we expand the project to different universities and across different continents, we're increasing awareness of your company. So thank you so much for listening to us. My name is Dan,
I'm Kayla.
And I'm Bobby.
and we are Tech Consulting. Thank you so much.
I have a question for you. So I think your main proposal is for us to create a new event. So a new event in a large market where there's a lot of competition between events worldwide in the aerospace market. So what will be our value? What will be our content to bring different people? 2,000 it's your goal to bring so many people to our event, a new event that nobody knows before.
I think first of all, there's really a surge of interest. The reason why we mention aerospace a lot, because it's really out there. It's a buzzword with companies like SpaceX that brings it to like more popular culture, and a lot of people are interested. Your company has a lot of value in terms of practical knowledge. There's also in your specific field not a lot of competition, so we can utilize the event also to display your technology. So people who are going to be attending that conference will be seeing things that they're not necessarily going to be able to see in other places, and also utilizing your connections with the brands that you're already working with. So it's going to be like a more initially we're networking all those brands that are working towards a common goal, and why I started the presentation with looking to the future. Although it is very much about your company, there's also a common cause here. There's a mission that we're making something better in the future, and that's a message that a lot of people can relate to. And with the aerospace industry and everything, that we can bring a lot of people to this event.
I'd also like to add that because the company has a strong focus in bilingualism, that already has a strategic advantage toward other companies that only speak English or speak French, but we can also make sure that clients can attend our event by having a major keynote speaker, maybe even someone like Elon Musk, you know? Because at other conferences, we've seen people bring in Steve Wozniak, we've seen people who bring in other developers who have made large companies at this point in time. It's something that's definitely doable, and at the capacity that we're working at, we think it's definitely achievable.
Okay. Do you have more questions?
Yes. I want to hear more about the channel that you're going to target to promote your events, because it's kind of slim to go through only like micro-influencers or just reach out to student bodies. So what is your tactics on this?
Yeah, so we're planning on using an array of marketing tools, using Google Ads, using SEO, and using paid advertising as a way to reach those professionals. And this will all be based on the market research that we planned prior, because we do want our ads to be contextual and relevant towards our client. When we're looking at addressing the students, because we have plants in various countries, then we're able to find the universities within various countries, contact their school, but also contact their student union, and provide that value to them, that this is like the first time ever large event, and have them come to us. Furthermore, because it is a marketing campaign, we can even use Google Analytics to check the metrics and to constantly tweak things to ensure that we are finding growth through our click-through rates, or even through our open rates on emails. So it'd be a variety of so many things, but ultimately throughout the year, there'll be a tweaking process to ensure that we can find the right consumers and the right clients to attend our events.
Yeah, as a sponsor, it was another question. Since we are in a B2B campaign, it's really a one-on-one kind of world. So did you have like costing about those one-on-one meetings? What could be done on that more personal kind of way? Except like emails is cool, but like there's not that much of an open rate, so.
So we did have the sponsorship package idea, so these would be sent out to your already current clients. This could be done through calls, as you mentioned, personal calls to your clients. Just let them know that you are going to be hosting an event, and if they would like a sponsorship package, to give them the details of what the event's going to entail, what the benefits they'll get out of the event, the prospective students that will be going to the event, and just any details that they have to give back to the students as well, through any issues that they might be having that they would want to bring to the students, and just try to get that collaboration and innovation mindset throughout the sponsorship package as well.
And another component to that, what we're mentioning it throughout the presentation, is part of our pitch is their collaboration with universities. It's very much, and when we're going to be scouting for those universities and different departments that we want to collaborate with, your clients are going to be part of that process. So that personal approach with them, with the universities, because it's very much in their interest. A lot of innovation happens specifically at universities, at engineering faculties. So identifying, maybe giving them more say in the process of selecting those faculties that they want to work with throughout the year is very much part of the process that we want to do when we're convincing them to come aboard.
It's lunchtime.